I'm Ken Cook. I'm 52 years old. I'm from Mears, Oklahoma, where my wife Tammy and twin boys Hunter and Tanner, 13, reside. The best thing to me about fishing on the Mississippi River is there's a lot of fish here. They live shallow. It's my style of fishing. They're on cover, logs and stumps and bushes. I love to fish that way with a spinnerbait.
My name's Mark Rose. I'm from Marion, Arkansas. 27 years old. Married to my wife, Christy, and got a little daughter named Natalie. Best part of fishing the Mississippi River simply is full of 4- and 5-pound fish. Knowing that you can pull up on any spot and weigh in a limit of 20, 25 pounds with 5 fish is really exciting.
My name is Craig Powers. I live in Rockwood, Tennessee. My wife's name's Terry. I've got a daughter, Jessie. She's 7 years old, and they're my life. The best part about fishing the Mississippi River is it keeps everyone on an even playing field. There's not a lot of offshore structure. It's basically a shallow water bite.
Gary Klein from Weatherford, Texas. My wife's named Jana, and we have 2 daughters, 2 years old and 5 years old, Sierra Canyon and Lakota. The best thing about fishing the Mississippi River is the quality of fish. I mean, obviously, this is one of the best fisheries in the world. The only way I feel that we could enhance this fishery is if we planted Florida bass in the oxbows. Awesome. All you need is habitat and food, and this river system has it. The bad thing about fishing the Mississippi River is just making the runs, barge traffic, and obviously there's a lot of barge traffic on the Mississippi River.
Hi, I'm Chuck Economo. I'm from Palm Bay, Florida. I'm 43 years old, and I've been fishing professionally for 4 years. The best part about fishing on the Mississippi River is that there's a lot of quality fish. It's fun fishing. Once you locate the fish, the drawback about fishing on the Mississippi is the fish change almost daily, depending on the water level and the conditions that the river deals you.
Well, surely you've guessed from the background there that Memphis is the headquarters this week, but sloughs and narrow ditches take our anglers off the mighty Mississippi and into bass-infected oxbows and backwaters. Now, the big story today is that Cook, Economo, and Powers are fishing 15 to 20 minutes north of Memphis, while Gary Klein and Mark Rose face a 130-mile round trip south to Tunica Lake in the state of Mississippi. I'm Tommy Sanders, and Jerry McInnes will be along to help us call a bass tournament on a river that heads up in Minnesota and runs 2,348 miles into the Gulf of Mexico, the most winding, most famous river in America, the Mississippi.
Rain's over. Fishing starts.
Chuck Economo fishing only about 15 minutes north of Memphis, and Jerry McInnes, he's got a special observer in the boat there with him.
We're going to see a lot of Coco today. A German short-haired pointer is Chuck's partner. Boy, what a fishy-looking piece of water. All these guys are fishing in.
The deal in here is you fish for 150, 200 yards and not get a bite. And just when you start, and I'm not feeling one of these fish bite. I hadn't felt a good jig bite yet. You just pick up, and they're either moving off with it real slow, or after you get really tuned up on that jig, sometimes it just don't feel right.
Greg Powers from over in eastern Tennessee. Now, you may not have heard of him before, but a lot of people in the world of fishing has. He's had a great red man circuit career. On the Everstart series, he basically fished his way to the FLW. Some wonderful performances there. Lots of top 10 finishes.
We may see him on the Wheaties box this year.
That's possible. He's right up there in the running.
One of the front runners, and I enjoyed his explanation of the strike. He said he hasn't had a good jig bite all week, which tells me that the fish are biting very lightly. These guys really have to have a touch. Both him and Chuck are fishing exactly the same way.
Here's a good one.
Come on, sweetheart. Ready? Oh. Yes. Okay, number 1. All right, girl. Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah, okay, get mad at her. We got it. We got the first one. Come here. All right, yeah. Girl. Ready for the next one, aren't you? So am I.
Tell you what, when the dog learns to use the net, he's got it made. Look out for Chuck Economo.
And poor Ken Cook out here fishing all by himself.
At a real disadvantage. The only guy who's not jig fishing as well, but if you'll take a look at our map we got coming up here, the 3 guys fishing above Memphis already have fish in the boat. The 2 guys going south to Tunica Lake, they still got 40 minutes worth of boat ride left.
Makes you wonder, Tommy, should you stay close to home or take that boat ride?
You know, I mean, 3 years ago, I would have never imagined that I would ever even get to fish the Mississippi River, let alone be fishing the last day of a FLW tournament that's, I mean, that's not what I needed to have happen. To be fishing the last day of an FLW tournament on the Mississippi River, if that's the worst thing that happens to me today, I'll be in good shape.
Without a doubt, the world's best anglers fish the Walmart FLW Tour.
Oh, my goodness, folks.
And this tournament series is backed up by the strongest sponsorship team in the industry. 1999 will truly be a historical year for us.
Alan Head is your champion.
And we're going to take you for the ride of your life.
There's a good one.
Tommy, I have to tell you that I ran into Chuck one of the qualifying days, and he said, Jerry, I am going to be in the finals. And boy, he's showing us, isn't he?
He's done it. Too. Okay, Chuck, can't have that kind of day. Can't have that. Of course it's going to happen today. Last day, but it's okay. There's plenty of fish here.
I'll tell you what, we see guys talking to themselves all the time out here, and that's an important part of the job. You have to get yourself pumped up.
Kind of reminds me of you, Tommy, over there talking to yourself.
Yeah, even though I'm not fishing.
Uh-oh. There it is. Look out. Yes, sir. Good girl, good girl. Yeah, good girl. We got her. Ooh.
Second fish for Chuck Economo. He has 2 fish now, 6 pounds, and Klein and Rose haven't wet a fish hook yet. Their spot better be good enough because they're sacrificing half the day to get there.
Oh, God, oh, God. Keep that camera rolling right there's on the good. And God, he come up all over that jig. There's about a 3-pounder. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Fish, please. Golly, bum. He stuck his nose plumb out of the water trying to get that jig. Daggone it. Fish now. He ain't a 3-pounder. He's a good 2, 2.5.
Well, Craig Power's not short on luck. Unfortunately, it's all been bad luck today. Economo and Coco, on the other hand, they can do nothing wrong. Chuck Economo now with 2 fish. And
Dang, you got it already.
maybe another.
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah, good one. All right. Yeah. She's getting excited as I am.
Tommy, can you imagine how anybody gets so excited about a dog?
Yeah, I know you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
In
you
the boat,
know.
I just can't believe that. Well, let me tell you something. We're having a good look at Ken Cook here. What the perfect example of a seasoned veteran.
Absolutely. He's had a great career, and he really got it started about 17 years ago. He won 95 grand in an old tournament called the Super Bass Tournament, I think it was called, and that's what allowed him to become a full-time angler, and he's taken advantage.
He is a spinnerbait fishing son of a gun, and you know, he's mentioned in a time or two, this type of fishing is just really falling right into his strengths.
Thin one.
This is one of my boxes with chunk selection. In this tournament, it seems like they've liked the green pumpkin and also the black and blues, straight blues. I've also caught them on the new green olive color. But I'm going to stay with the confidence bait. And what I do is dip the tail, chartreuse, give it a little flash. I've been noticing the craws here. One time during the tournament, went up this creek, and the craws were this big. They were about 2.5, 3 inches, and they were a green color. And of course, I've caught fish that have regurgitated craws in the live well. Some have also had shad in their bellies, but mostly craws.
3 of our fishermen prospering close to home, and 2 of them still fighting the high water. Dangerous, really, going through the barge traffic and all getting to their chosen spot.
Rather than get my head all messed up, just do what I've been doing. Got me this far, so no sense in changing. Golly bum! Oh! Daggone it!
The Walmart FLW Tour on the Mississippi, and our first look at Tunica Lake. This is the place where Denny Brower caught 45 pounds of fish the first 2 days of this tournament. He dropped out on day number 3, but this is where Gary Klein and Mark Rose got into this thing. And Mark Rose knows this lake. He grew up in Marion, Arkansas. He knows every turn, and he expects to win.
Right now, as the river's falling and it's really making it tough, the fish are really stacked up, and if you find them, you can catch them real good. I'm making a long run simply because I'm going to Tunica, and Tunica, in my opinion, has the biggest population of bigger fish, and is closer to the pyramid here to where we're blasting off than anywhere else. And I feel like to win the tournament, you got to be in an area that's got some big fish, and I feel like that area's got the biggest ones within the closest range of here. I'm hoping that later on in the day, as they move out, I believe the big ones are going to move out on these points, and that's what I'm relying on. Right now, you know, I feel like they're setting up in this shallow stuff, and as this water temperature gets a little warmer throughout the day, they're going to move out on these points. But I think there's fish in this general area right here. It's just a matter of if they're suspended out there or if they're up here.
I'll tell you what, I put my money on Mark Rose getting this thing figured out. He's got all the confidence in it. Well, there you go, right?
And he is on the scoreboard, and this gentleman, Tommy, what a perfect guy. He is involved with the Boy Scouts of America.
I'll take you to Memphis.
I think everybody wants to take 5 keepers to Memphis, don't they?
In a big way, especially this guy here, Gary Klein, just getting there, looking for his first fish.
Hey, we need to talk about Gary Klein. Here's a guy, can we say that he brought flipping east?
Well, it was started out in California, and he's a young man who grew up in Susanville, and at a young age came out east and made himself a great career using this technique right here.
Now, this is the size of fish he's been catching all week long.
One.
Yes, sir. Good start for Gary Klein there, and he got into the finals and also into the 3rd day of fishing based on 3 fish and 4 fish stringer. So if he catches anything like that size today, he's going to be great.
He sure is.
How do you like that expert net job, huh?
Gary, we'd love that.
Yes.
I want you to know that Gary's probably fishing in 10 or 12 feet of water, not as shallow as the other guys, but his fish are only in 4, maybe 5 feet of water. They're suspended.
Yeah, she went in and my line stopped about 4 foot down.
That really takes a touch.
See, that was another big one I saw hit right up there, back in the switch willows a little ways. First thing this morning, I was just trying to concentrate on these outer clumps right here. Now I'm going to come back. I'll fish it a little bit more thorough here in in a bit. So I was yelling for the net. It dawned on me that there's nobody in the boat to net the fish for me.
We're here on the Mississippi River this week, and as you all know, the Mississippi River is a big, big place. So big, in fact, it has split up our 5 anglers. Some of them are going north, some are going south. So Jerry McInnes and I decided the best way for us to cover those guys was to split up ourselves. And Jerry, I think you got the better end of that deal.
I do. I'll tell you what, I'm so excited about this trip. You know, when we first came over here, I figured the majority of the fishermen would be going south. Well, as it turns out today, 3 out of the 5 are going north. I'm going to leave you to take care of those 3 guys, and we're going to make a swing around Mud Island. We've got a big barge right out in front of Mud Island right now. We're going to head south, see if we can't catch up with Gary Klein and Mark Rose, and you check in on the other guys.
All right, we'll give you a few minutes to get down to Tunica Lake in that area, Jerry. And meanwhile, we'll get on the phone, hook up ourselves, see if we can find Chuck Economo. Chuck is about 15 minutes, or 15 miles, I should say, upriver in a place called Lost Lake, one of the cutoff lakes. And Chuck, bring us up to date. What's happened for you today? Looks like it's looking pretty good.
Well, it may appear that I'm doing pretty good, but I just finished calling what I thought was my smaller fish. I got maybe 11 and a half pounds. I never had a big bite yet. So I feel like I need to just concentrate on getting the big bites, and I got the, well, you know how you get when you don't have your limit. And I'm just gonna go try and concentrate and fish real slow and try and get the big bites. That's what's really needed. The fish are here. What I'm catching are 2.5s, and that's just not enough to really make some money.
Chuck, so far this week, have your big bites, your big fish come all during the day, or have you caught them all on a morning bite, or how's it been going so far?
Well, that's a good question. They've come at any given moment. And the area I'm fishing right now has potential to get the big fish, and typically they come in here later in the afternoon. And I've been trying to just catch my limit, and I know I've tried 3 or 4 different big fish holes, and it hasn't happened.
Chuck, real quickly, hold up your lure and show us what you're fishing with, and explain to us what you're trying to achieve every time you make a cast.
What I'm throwing is a jig and pig. Up till today, I was catching all my fish on blueberry zoom lizards. And this is a 3/8 ounce rattleback jig, and with a zoom trailer, what it does, it mimics the crayfish. Just a moment ago, a fish had kicked up a crayfish, and it was about 2.5, 3 inches long. And that's what they're feeding on in here. We have a runoff little creek, so that's what I'm trying to key in on.
Excellent. Chuck Economo, we're going to let you fish on here and let him go up there in Lost Lake, about 15 miles upriver from Memphis here. Now we're going to check in with Jerry McInnes. Jerry, you've made it down to Tunica Lake. Who are you got your sights on right now?
The first competitor we've run into is down here at Tunica, and it's Gary Klein. Looks like he has a couple of folks in there watching him. And Gary, how about giving me a blow-by-blow description of how your day has gone so far?
Jerry, I'm having a good day. I've only had 1 bite so far. It's a good fish. Obviously, you can see the water's dead flat. We have no current, no water movement at all. And I think that sort of hurt me a little bit so far, but, you know, if things change, it won't take me long to catch a couple more big ones.
You probably haven't had a 12 or 15 strikes down here the whole tournament, have you?
No, we haven't. Jerry, all I've been doing is just pitching a jig around the willow trees and trying to fish somewhere near the base of them. All these trees are sitting in about 12 foot of water, and the fish have been holding on the bottom the last couple days. Now, the one fish I caught this morning hit me on the fall. Jig only sunk about 3 feet.
Well, Gary, I tell you what, we're going to let you go. I hate to say this, but we're able to get back to Memphis faster than you are.
Well, looks like we're going to have a nice ride back anyhow.
Anyway, we wish you all the best of luck. I know all you need is a couple more strikes to be right in the middle of it.
Well, we have found Craig Powers, so we're going to get up to date on his situation. Craig, tell us what has happened to you today so far.
Well, just about like every other day, the bite's been pretty slow. Haven't hit one of those feeding sprees yet. I've had several bites. I've got 3 in the boat. Had a little bit of bad luck, but that's part of fishing.
What are you looking for? What are you looking to flip in? And show us what you're flipping with.
I'm using a 1/2 ounce gambler jig. It's got the color of this thing is called a blue camo. Randy Hillier from Z-Man Skirts, he sent me the rubber before I came to this tournament, and it's kind of a new experimental deal, and I think it really makes a difference out here. It shows up good in this water, and you know, a black and blue jig's hard to beat just about anywhere you go, especially in a stained water situation. And as far as what I'm trying to flip, this lake is very shallow, and the water's dropping every day. So what I'm trying to do is key on the banks, key on the places where the bank comes right to the edge. That way the fish all they can do is move up and down, instead of like this side over here, they can go 50 foot back in the timber and the brush. Whereas here, all they have to do is move up and down.
Well, Tommy, when we left Gary Klein a minute ago. He was kind of buried up in the willow trees. Looks like Mark Rose is in a little bit open water. Obviously, he's fishing a lot of cover. Mark, how is your day going? How about telling us about this experience?
Well, I started this morning, Jerry, out here on my #1 hole and didn't get bit out here. And so I felt like the fish just hadn't moved out here yet. And so I went in, and it didn't take me but about 30 minutes, and I got a nice 3.5 pound fish. And then I came back out, and I probably spent about 30 minutes here, and I got what I was looking for to bite, but I just didn't land it. I'm used to having somebody in the back with a net, and when I was reaching for the net, I let a little bit too much slack get in my line, and she just jumped off. She was a nice fish.
It's got to be kind of tough mentally to have that happen to you.
Yeah, it was tough mentally, but I said a little prayer, and I'm gonna forget about that one, and I'm in a spot where I can get 5 bites and get right back in it, or 4 bites and get right back in it. And we're just gonna have to see how it goes.
Kind of looks like you're fishing away from the bank. Are you actually in some brush, or are you really fishing some bare water?
Now, Jerry, there's a couple of sand points coming out here, and they got a couple of bushes on them, and I believe the shad are just kind of stacked up in these bushes, but the fish, whenever the water was up, were up in this flooded stuff, but now with the water falling, I feel like they've moved out here on this sandbar, and they have. I just, you know, they're just gonna bite in little spurts, and I just got to catch it just right.
Ken Cook is in a place called Barney's Chute, and you can pretty well see why they call it a chute, huh, Ken?
Yeah, it shoots up through here, all right. You'll see it on the video.
Well, I tell you what, a lot of people who aren't from at least this part of the country, or aren't where you're from, out in Oklahoma, and don't know about red dirt and dingy water, might not think to use a spinner bait in really discolored water. But that's nothing new to you, is it?
No, this looks like home almost. The water's pretty green here, actually. The plankton's really starting to bloom, and it's getting sort of green looking.
Tell us why you came upon that decision and what you're trying to achieve with that particular bait.
Well, there's a lot of shad and in here, and you can just see schools of them cruising all over during this time of day. And I started using a spinnerbait early on in practice and caught a lot of fish on it, and gravitated toward a larger spinnerbait. I'm using a 3/4 ounce bait now with a 5 and a 7 woolly blades, big blades, to match the shad, and it's been working pretty good. It slowed down a little bit a couple of hours ago, and I picked up a shallow diving crankbait, a Storm shortward, and I caught one on it and lost one on it in the last 30 minutes or so. So for variety, I'm showing them a little crankbait.
Tell us what you think the prospects are to make the big fish bite that spinnerbait or the crankbait or the jig a little later on today.
Well, I'm gonna continue doing the spinnerbait and crankbait thing for maybe another 30 minutes to an hour, and then I've got another alternate plan. If it doesn't start working better, I'm gonna go down, and there's like 3 different little restrictions in this chute as you go out, where the water is restricted down into little narrow spots where the currents increase, and I'm gonna go fish those pretty hard with a jig.
When you talk about those restrictions, what does that mean for the fish?
Well, it means that the current picks up in those areas. It positions the fish on those little corners. There's a big bush on the corners of where the channel like narrows down, and the fish have been having a little bit of a tendency to gang up in those bushes, and especially when the sun gets out like it's fixing to, and up in the day. That's been a pattern that's working. I caught a couple fish off of it yesterday late, and I'm going to change to that if this doesn't pick up here in the next 30 minutes or so.
Jerry, we just got it from Ken Cook, 3 small fish, but you know how Ken has been all week long. He is not going to frown at all. He's having the time of his life. You know, I honestly think he's just going to enjoy it, win or lose today.
Yeah, and we found Mark Rose. He's kind of like Gary Klein. He had 2 strikes.
Yeah.
He has one in the boat that's probably close to a 4-pound fish. He lost a big fish, a 6 or 7 pound fish. I think he struggled mentally with getting over that, but he's like Gary Klein, just a couple of strikes, and boy, he's right there.
Well, I tell you what, we are headed for a dynamite weigh-in here. Jerry, we'll let you come on back down from Tunica and get you land the chopper and get back to work here, and we'll be right back with more of this Walmart FLW Tour event on the Mississippi River. Don't go away.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Wrangler. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans. By Citgo, you know me. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by Mitchell, we know the water. FLW Tour. The Mississippi River is the site for this week's tournament, but we are off the river on a cutoff lake called Tunica Lake. That's where we find Gary Klein and Mark Rose, and Gary Klein is fishing his heart out right now.
And Tommy, I'm out of breath. It's a long way from that helicopter pad back to the booth here. I want you to spend some time, I want everybody to spend some time watching Gary's techniques now, if at all possible, because again, I'm telling you, what he's doing right now, he is the best at it. He never leaves. Man, I saw the jig come out of that net there. That fish.
He got lucky on that one. You're right.
Forget about his technique. Watch his netting job,
yeah,
huh?
No kidding.
That's what you call catching that one in the air, boy.
Yeah, see, Gary knows that. He's getting pumped, too, isn't he, Tommy?
He absolutely seems like he's just breathing a little bit harder and a little bit harder.
Boy, he is hitting every willow tree. Hey, real quickly, do you remember the time you and Gary and myself were in the back of a bus talking about professional bass fishing?
I do, down in Florida.
That's right, and Gary had so many good ideas about how it could be bettered, and hopefully we're doing that here.
You got to catch them yet?
One here and there. Y'all doing any good?
Not much more.
Crappie fishing a little bit slow, and the bass not a whole lot better for Ken Cook right now. In fact, he's dropped the spinnerbait.
I saw him coming.
Yeah, this is something unusual, Tommy. He's fishing a crankbait.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll help.
With this just in from Tunica Lake, Mark Rose and Gary Klein here making their move. The count now for Klein. He's got 3 fish, 11 pounds. He's right in the thick of it, Gary.
How'd you like that quick net job, huh?
He's concerned about his net today, isn't he? Boy, he is feeling it, though. And again, I want to say that he is not necessarily fishing his jig on the bottom. Many people would fish right past some of the fish he's catching. He is letting his jig enter the water, and he's following it all the way to the bottom and really paying attention to the jig as it's drifting in say 3 to 6 feet of water, because those fish are hanging in those willow trees, and as it goes by, they'll just reach out and grab it, and it's such a subtle strike that you really have to be, hey, he is making his move.
One more is history bake.
Gary was just talking to our camera boat operator there, Basil Bacon. He said one more and it's history, but I tell you what, he hasn't seen Chuck Economos live well yet.
I think I'm starting to get a feel for what they're doing now, Basil. I've been fishing too slow this morning.
There's very few times when you can make a lot of noise and catch fish. Quieter presentations and approaches get you bites.
This is the idea. 2 lights in one.
Our tournament, we looked at Mud Island, and the thing that stood out about Mud Island was this neat replica they have of the Mississippi River. And we thought we had a unique twist to it, and we were going to use it as a way to introduce children to fishing, which has been a real strong backbone of Operation Bass and the Walmart FLW Tour. As you know, the Mississippi River dumps into the Gulf of Mexico, and the Gulf of Mexico here is a huge swimming pool. So we decided that we would use this swimming pool as our lake, our fishing lake, if you will. And these kids from all over Memphis and Tennessee and Arkansas can come over here, fish free for the day, have some pros work with them. So we have turned in the Gulf of Mexico to the #1 catfish fishing tournament in the world. The way this works for the kids is they get a free tram ride over here. They walk down the Mississippi River here, and they end up in our Gulf of Mexico, where we meet them with a pro and a local angler from the area here in Memphis. They have the opportunity then to go out and fish for 20 minutes and have rotating process. They get to fish for 20 minutes. They catch a fish. They get into a drawing. And 10 lucky kids, out of probably over 1,000 kids will participate, 10 of them will actually fish in a mini tournament. You'll get to fish in a boat with all the equipment you see on a lot of your top-notch fishing tours. You'll have the electronics, you have the trolling motors, and you have obviously the rods and reels, and he'll actually have a pro with him in the boat.
5-fish limit, and let the children fish. The adults change fish.
So what we'll do then is take those 10 kids, take them on stage with all the bells and whistles of the FLW Tour stage weigh-in, and at the end of the day, one of these kids is going to win one of the boats that he fished out of.
Drafton Peck. How old are you, Drafton? How long you been fishing?
5 years.
5 years.
We believe fishing promotes a lifestyle and a family values that's unmatched. It's a clean, wholesome sport. We want to take that and put it in the hands of maybe kids that haven't had the opportunity before to do this. So what you see today maybe is the birth of some fishing stars that maybe never even dreamed of fishing before, and maybe we'll see him one day receiving a $100,000 check from Operation Bass.
Just tons of stuff happening this week on the Mississippi River. It's really happening for Chuck Economo now. He's had a limit for a long time, and he's culling now, Jerry.
Gary Klein was awful confident there a minute ago, but he doesn't realize how many fish Chuck is catching. And isn't it interesting the different locales that Chuck is fishing compared to what Gary's fishing?
Then again, it might. All right. All right. I know it's been a while, hasn't it? Ooh, hooked real well. Where's that? What? Let's check it. 2-4, it's the smallest one. That was a same fish. Coco. Just the fish, not you. Get over here. Come on. You can't be out here. There's too many fish here. Come on, get in here. Darn. You know, I don't think Coco's ever seen a frog that big.
I don't think I've ever seen a frog that big in the daylight, anyway.
That is a monster, isn't it?
No, that's wild.
I think Chuck's trying to catch the bass that would be after that frog.
That'd be a good one, wouldn't it?
Oh, shoot. Did I just miss one or what? Yep. He drilled it. Now he's going to eat it. Just like that. Yes. 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 Was that picture perfect or what? Here's what they do. They hit it and crush. What they're trying to do is crush the craw, kill it, spit it out. They can do it faster than I could react. And what you need to do as soon as that happens is just, if you don't set the hook and jerk it out like I just did, just leave it there and just shake it. He'll think it's he didn't kill it well enough, and he'll just jump on it, hold it real tight, and you got him every time.
Chuck Economo obviously very confident. Gary Klein, we saw him. He's pumped up, but don't forget this guy.
How about Mark Rose? He is working his way up towards 15 pounds of fish. And you know what? We talk about everybody flipping. Hey, how about this move here?
Yeah, he's the only guy that can do that move that we know of. That's good.
That's pretty tough. No, he is the only fisherman who is throwing a Carolina rig some. He'll go up to the edge in the shallow water and he'll flip jigs like everybody else, but he is also backing off, fishing what he calls a little point there with a Carolina rig, and he's pretty excited.
Yes, sir.
I can't talk.
Well, he's been letting his fishing do the talking so far in this tournament. What, the first couple of days, you remember, he had the little flat-bottom aluminum boat. He push-poled his way back into some slough behind a hunting club, really close to Memphis, and did great.
And then he's taken out of his flat bottom and put into the final boats, and he can't get to that water, and so he has to have a whole new game plan for Friday and Saturday, day 3 and 4. And he's just did an incredible job. I'm very impressed with this boy. And I think Marion, Arkansas is too.
Oh, they are.
I love you, fish. You're the best fish in the whole wide world. You might even get the priority box.
Mark Rose, 27 years old, only his second Walmart FLW Tour event, and he has not given up now.
When we came here this morning, I just don't think that they were out here. I believe the sun is my friend today. I think it's going, the hotter it gets, the more they're going to move out. Again, like I said earlier, I just got to be patient and maybe leave every now and then and come back. But they're here, I believe. I may not get another one, but I think I will.
You think so? Well, how about if we just put icing on the cake? And then we'll party hardy tonight. You guys are supposed to be thinking big fishies, not them little 2-pounders. Now you start getting all the butterflies, boy. I tell you what, this is how confident I am. I'll put him on a call-on board. They may have been a $100,000 fish right there. Hell, look at that. Look at that. Holy cow. Oh, yeah. Come on, sweetheart. You might help me. Yeah, you're going to help. Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one. It's a big one. Come on. Come on. Let me get down and get you. I'll come in and get you. I'll come and get you. Yes. Yes. Oh, you wouldn't believe what she did. I popped it off that log, and as it was coming over, she went, and she got it. Thank you, Lord. Weren't we looking for one of these? Okay, I don't need to weigh her right now. I think we're fishing for fun now, guys. You know, they are not the quality that Gary was catching. And Denny. And I haven't seen that quality here. Let's give it a neat chunk. There's one right here. So I could still be in trouble. Yeah! Oh, yeah! Now I got 20 pounds. Oh! Yeah! I think I have one to get rid of. Now I got a 20-pound bag. I would do a dance, but I can't dance. But boy, I tell you, it sure feels great. I can say that one was for Jana, my wife. that last fish. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here.
Well, Jerry, you and I, we can't dance either, but I will say this. That was an exciting way for Gary Klein and Chuck Economo to end their days fishing. And now the folks back here on Mud Island, they got an exciting way in to look forward to.
And, man, you need to speak for yourself, Tommy. I can dance. And Gary's last fish there had Fuji flashback written all over it, didn't it?
Now I got a 20-pound bag. Hi, Lake Tunica, I love you.
Unfortunately, Craig Pyers and Ken Cook have been eliminated from our shootout weigh-in, but we've got 3 strong competitors left.
Here's fish number 3 for Mark.
Wow.
Nice. Oh, my. Now, 3 fish, 13 pounds, 1 ounce.
Have a big hand for Mark Rose. Mark will take a seat there. So Gary Klein's going to have to have 7:15, is it, Charlie?
7 pounds, 15 ounces.
7 pounds, 15 ounces in order to take over the lead.
Here's fish number 1.
He made it in on 3 fish yesterday, so there's no telling.
And here is number 2.
We're looking for 7:15.
7:15. These 2 fish weigh 9 pounds, 5 ounces.
All right. Good going, Gary. He keeps his seat. Chuck Economo, 7 pounds, 3 ounces, Chuck. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. That's what it's going to take. Oh, my goodness. We got a little preview there. A little sneak peek. Seven pounds, 3 ounces.
7-3 to put you in the lead. Beautiful fish there. And 2 fish. And that should do it. These 2 fish weigh 8 pounds, 14 ounces.
All right, what a great limit for Chuck Economo. He gets to keep his seat here. Mark Rose, who's weighed in 4 fish so far, is going to have to come up with 3 pounds and 4 ounces. Oh. You're not playing with us here. That's it, huh?
That's it.
Mar, let's have a big hand for him, man. What an effort. Boy from Marion. Chuck Economo over here has weighed in a limit of fish, a tournament limit. He's our leader right now. Gary Klein has weighed in 4 fish, so we're down to 2 anglers. We're about to find out who's going to win the $100,000. But before we do what we always do at these tournaments. We pause for a quick message. Be right back.
Film. You can see the future from here. By Land O'Lakes, supporting family traditions. By Black & Decker, Quantum Pro power tools built by Black & Decker. And by Coleman, the outdoor recreation company.
Welcome back. Things have really heated up here at Mud Island in Memphis, Tennessee. We are down to 2. Chuck Economo here. What a fabulous stringer of fish. 19 pounds, 2 ounces, a tournament limit, 5 fish. Let's bring Chuck over here. I know he wants to see what's about to happen because Gary Klein, the only other man left in the competition, has weighed in 4 fish, and Gary needs 1 pound, 13 ounces in order to take the win and the $100,000. Gary, bring it on up if you got it. Oh, golly. Up, see? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Oh, my word. Wow. Oh, he needs 113. I think he may have it.
This will do it, Tommy. This fish weighs 4 pounds, 13 ounces.
Your champion here at Memphis, Gary Klein. Let's hear it for him. 22 pounds, 3 ounces. Just incredible. Jana's up here. And who's this, Gary?
This is our youngest daughter, Canyon.
Canyon. What a proud day. What a stringer. This is something you've been working for a long time, and man, you made it happen today, although it didn't look like it from the start, did it?
Matter of fact, I got a phone call from you all out there about 11:30, and I only had one. It was about a 4-pounder. and that was the only bite that I had, and I caught it off the very first stretch that I started on. But I know that these fish are migrating around. They're moving off the flats, they're moving out to the deep willow bushes, and I had 1 million willow bushes to fish, and as soon as y'all hung the phone up, Jerry got off the phone, the helicopter left that was hovering over the top of me. Basil Bacon and Greg, my camera boat, we pulled about 50 yards down this one little willow patch, 4-pounder, 4-pounder, 2-pounder. Gave me 5, then I caught another 4-pounder and called the 2-pounder, and I knew I had it then.
I tell you what, we said it when you came out here, you've done just about everything there is to do in the world of bass fishing. This kind of makes the old trophy case complete here, doesn't it?
Well, without a doubt, anytime you can come to a field of anglers that are as good as these are, and, you know, hang in there for the week and end up on top, yeah, it's a great accomplishment.
Okay, that's what it's all about. Let's give them a big hand right here. Your champions, stick close by. We got one more person we need to talk to, somebody who put up a heck of an effort out here. Chuck Economo, let's hear it for our runner-up Chuck Economo today. 19-2 is nothing to be sneezed at, and as you say, it was probably a great temptation to go down to Tunica Lake. You knew the big fish were there. Tell us where you chose instead to go fish and how you fished all week.
Well, I chose to fish one little lake that was not getting too much pressure, really. And I basically flipped and cast lizards to catch them. Guys had come in and out of there, and they got a couple small bites, maybe one big fish. But what I learned is those bigger fish will feed at a certain time of day, and you have to be there, and you have to know kind of when, and just hold up weight on them, and they will bite. I mean, I'm pretty proud of my stringer today. I didn't have any of the 5- and 6-pounders that I had during the first 2 days. So I'd like to congratulate Gary on the win.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com.